hope everyone's doing good. Welcome to René Paris. We're gonna have some fun today. I have a quick tutorial and I also have many questions to answer. This is gonna be a new little favorite for me. This is sassy. Just a quick updo. No, just a little hair clip. I really am enjoying the length of this. Let's just get into questions. Is the new color darker than Champagne R? So I'm going to show you the color, and always remember that they translate differently on different monitors, but this is cream velvet. Let me hold her back here and you can see more. This is definitely darker than Champagne R. It's a little more blended in the root. The root is a little more blended. Hopefully you can see that. This is more of nude blondes, more of an ash tones. If you can see, the root is a little more blended. So this is definitely different from Champagne R. Both great colors. Again, this is Sassy from our Orchid line. Today I'm going to show you a few tips on how to manage your high heat. One of the questions was, why do you wear a lot of your styles up? Good question. Okay, for those of you that don't know, during the day I am a licensed cosmetologist, and we're working different locations, doing different events and so forth. And for me, I just feel more comfortable if my hair is up and away. And I know I've said this before, but this is just where I'm at in life. I'm past 50 and I am going through that stage where you get really, really hot. And you just never know when the hot's gonna hit realistically. So I like to keep the hair off my neck right now, only because just in my experience, the heat radiating from your body, or if just in my opinion, sometimes it wears the fiber a little bit more underneath here. So that's just my personal experience. I'm not saying that this is for everyone. Again, I just happen to be in that place in life where, again, I get really hot, and it's much nicer for me to have my hair away from my face or off my neck. And I really love updos, which brings me to the next. Okay, so are all styles high heat? No. The most important thing I want to share with you today is not all the styles that we carry. I'm going to shake my head so you can see me. No. This is very, very important because I don't want you to get confused. Not all the styles that we have at René Paris are high heat. The way you find out what is high heat, first of all, it is going to be on your tag. Let me take one of these and show you. Sorry, I forgot to trim this off here. We've been a little busy today, but I do want to show you on every tag, and this is going to be very, very important because it's very, very important to follow the directions to a T. So here is, if you can see right there, it says high heat synthetic fiber. High heat synthetic fiber. Very, very important because not all styles are going to have this on the tag. If it does not have that on the tag, please hear me, you do not want to apply heat. That's very, very important because any type of heat, and I know that you've heard me over and over and over, if you've been in our classes, you've heard me on live, do not apply heat to your regular styles, meaning if they're not high heat in category, do not apply heat because it will singe, it will melt the fiber, if you will. So today we're looking at high heat fiber, and I'll get into that just a minute, but I do want to show you on our website how you find the styles that, okay, so we're at reneparis.com. Up here, let me show you, there's the little drop down right here. You're going to hit that, and then you're going to see our collections. So you're going to hit, sorry, you're gonna look for the Orchid Collection. So let's look for that first. And I want to take you step by step because I know you had a little bit of trouble finding that one particular collection. So we're gonna go down to the Orchid Collection right here. And then under that, you're gonna find, you're gonna find all the styles, and then it's gonna show you by fiber type. Under fiber type, you're gonna hit the high heat so that you know exactly what is high heat. That's very important because if, okay, so really quickly, okay, I ruined a wig just from opening up the oven door during the holidays. I totally understand. And what happens is that heat is hitting you, like, it's just hitting you. So yes, if you're opening the oven door and it's really, I mean, like you get a burst of hot air and it singes, it hits the front here on a regular synthetic, it is definitely going to singe the front. I'm sorry about that. You know, sometimes we forget to mention that in our, you know, when we're educating the people that are wearing them. So please remember that that is definitely something that can happen. The other question I usually have is, just because something's high heat doesn't mean that it's not gonna fringe. No. If you are using an implement that is too hot for this particular fiber, it will melt. It's gonna do exactly what fiber does whenever an implement is too hot. Okay, so right here, sorry, I'm trying to talk, and okay, so right here we have hair type and fiber, and you're gonna hit that right there, and then it'll show you high heat, and you go to high heat, and it is going to pull up for you all the styles from René Paris that are high heat. So please remember, that is the easiest way to get to all the styles. Okay, so yes, that's why we're doing just a really quick tutorial. I find high heat and HD, HH harder to care for, and I don't know why. Okay, so this kind of leads me into my next question, was why do you personally, why do you personally not really wear a lot of high heat? Okay, so keep in mind that I'm past 50. I've been wearing a wig for over 30 years. And back when I first started wearing a wig, first of all, we didn't have high heat. We had human hair and synthetic. So I've shared before why I don't do human hair. The reason I usually don't opt for high heat is not because I don't like it. It's great. If you like styling your hair, changing it, so forth, working with implements, it's great. I am licensed. I do know how to work with the implements, but I choose the versatility, the quickness, if you will, and the fun of the fact that I do not want to be styling my wigs every day. So the synthetic styles that I usually wear, they just bounce back after you shampoo them. High heat, yes, is a little bit harder to work with. So if you're not, that's my first question always when I'm working with someone. My first question is, do you like messing with your hair? Do you want to be straightening it, curling it? Do you want to do fun things with it? Usually, if you're younger, you're going to want to be styling your hair. You're going to change it. Usually, not all the time, but I find that if you're like, you know, a little bit closer in my age, you don't want to be having to mess with your hair. You want it to be done for you. So those are the reasons that I personally do not choose to wear a lot of high heat styles. Okay, so let me see here. And we're about to get into the styling, but I do want to make sure I answer these questions. I do have to address the question that I've received several DMs about the black wig that I wear, in an updo, in a high updo that everybody wants to know how I do that. I am going to be doing that for you. Bear with me on that. That wig is Angelica, which leads me to my next. I'm sorry if you did not get the color. I want to just tell you, when a limited edition color is released, limited edition means limited edition. I know it's kind of hard to understand in the wig community or wig world, but to give you a better example of what I mean, and this is just a comparison, like when you find a line, say for instance fragrance, and they release a summer line, they have a fall line, they have a spring line, they have different scents that come out, they have limited edition fragrances, and then the limited edition, if it sells out, it's out. I mean, it's a limited production of the product, and you may not be able to get it after it launches and after it sells out. So I encourage you, if you see a limited edition color and you really like it, I would just say you need to go ahead and get it. Because René Paris, and I'm sure there's many other lines that launch limited edition colors. However, if you really love it, like this is, you know, you just never know. You may be thinking, I really like it, I'm not really sure. But please get a limited edition color if you see it. My suggestion, if you're wanting something like the dark style, and again, this is going to be Angelica. I'm going to show you the tag so that you can see. This is Angelica, Noriko. I'm going to show you the color. This is going to be the closest to the color that I showcased. This is Deep Galaxy. Okay, so for those of you that were not able to get the blueberry color, this is going to be the next color that I showcase. Again, this will be limited. This will do the same style that I've been wearing. This is Deep Galaxy. Okay, you're gonna love this. If you love the other color, you're definitely gonna love this one too. Okay, I think that's it in questions. Let's get into styling. If you just joined me, I'm Daniella. Welcome to René Paris. We're gonna do a quick tutorial on how to put just a little bit of wave or curl into your high heat styles. And today we're gonna be looking at Sassy, and I actually have a few others, so I wanna make sure that I answered all the questions. Okay, one more. The topper that I showed last Monday, let me get that for you. I'm going to show you the inside again. This is Inslee TP. This is Inslee TP. There's a wig, a full wig. And the question was, does your hair have to be curly underneath? Does it have to be the same length? Does it have to be the, you know what, I don't know if you remember, but I would highly suggest for you to go back to one of our tutorials where I actually wore a topper that was different, a whole different color. My hair was dark underneath, and even if your hair wasn't exactly this length, it will blend. And I will try to do this for you on IG, or it may have to be on my personal Instagram, which is @TexasWigFairy. Either way, I know that there's a lot of topics and we try to fit everything in, but definitely, even if your hair was to be a little bit shorter, it will blend. There's ways for you to blend it. So don't, if your hair is just a little bit shorter than this is going to be a beautiful topper. This is definitely something that you do want to add to your collection if it's even something that you think you might wear. Okay, beautiful topper. Again, today is the launch for Orchid. Make sure you ask your retailers for those pieces, for the pieces that you are looking for. Okay, let's get started. So today I'm going to be showing you how to take a little bit, we're going to take a little bit of curl out and we're going to put a little bit of curl in. So I'm going to put my Sassy back on. Okay, and the most important thing I want you to keep in mind is we're going to be these are professional products. Sorry, we do have someone in the salon today. Sorry about that. So it is live. I'm sorry. This is going to be one of the products that I'm going to be, one of the tools. The most important thing that I can tell you is please find tools that have temperature control. This is going to be very, very important. It's a little tricky to be using implements that are high heat, low heat, unless you've had a lot of experience and you know exactly how your implement is going to heat up. I would highly suggest for you to use something that has temperature control, meaning that you can control the temperature. Okay, both of the implements I'm going to be using today have temperature control. So these are still cold. I didn't warm these up because I don't want to warm anything up, and I don't want it to be holding heat, because the hotter it is, like I said, just because it's high heat doesn't necessarily mean that you can't ruin it. You can ruin it. If it's too hot, it will singe it. It's just going to melt it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And we're gonna do 290 first so that I can show you. Okay, so this is at 370, which is way too hot. I'm gonna start at 270, and I want you to remember that when you go back to your instructions, make sure that you read all the instructions here. If using a hot tool, keep heat setting at 300 degrees or lower. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to say it again. Make sure that you follow the instructions that are going to be here, right here, styling option, and it needs to be 300 or lower. Lower. I know you're probably laughing at me, but that's really, really important, because that is so, so important. And one of the things, I had someone that said they had purchased a high heat style, and they said, Daniela, this is broken. I said, broken? That's cute. What do you mean? Okay, they weren't able to get the style for it to stay in. So the most important thing is, it's almost I always just like to say it's opposite almost when we're doing our own hair. You can't just style and drop the curl. You actually have to hold it. You actually have to hold the style and let it cool down to a degree before. Okay, so we're at 290, and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna show you. You know what? Let me lower this just a little bit. Let me lower this just a little so you can see better. Okay, you actually have to hold the curl there so it has a little bit of time to cool down. And I am using a little bit of Revive, or you can use water. And the reason I'm doing that is I like to spray it in my hand. And I'm just taking it and running it through the fiber. I'm not soaking it. It's not going to be soaking. I'm just coating the fiber so that it has something to it has something to it's not dry. It's going to glide over the fiber. Okay, so I'm going to take it, and I know a lot of people that I still work with use a curling iron, so we're just going to hold it here. And I'm kind of just letting the curl. And I always count to about 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is just going to be a soft. I don't really want anything really, and I hold the curl. When I'm doing this on a mannequin, I always put the clips in. Like, I'll show you in just a minute what kind of clip I'm talking about. But you have to hold it in order for it to cool down to set the curl in. That's the most important thing, because if you do it and you just let the curl drop without holding it, it may not take as intense as you want it to. It might not be as defined a curl as you want it to be. So as you can see, we've got a little wave there. I don't want anything really curly. I don't want like a curl pattern to it. So again, remember just to take a section. You don't want to take a whole lot of hair. I'm using, again, you can use Reviver water. I'm spraying my hand and I'm working the fiber down. Again, if you just joined, we are working with high heat today, and we definitely want to make sure that we use 300 or cooler, 300 or lower. Again, you want to just take it. I'm going to just kind of turn the barrel. Some of us still use a curling iron. And I'm counting to 15. 1, 2, just remember, I mean, I'm used to doing this, but you definitely don't want to grab the barrel because you can burn your fingers. And then you just lightly want to drop the curl out, and I'm holding it. I'm just creating a wave. I don't want a definite curl. You can do this with your flat iron as well. Then over here, if I had just like a little, I'll show you with the flat iron here in a minute. If I had just a, you know, a bend where maybe I didn't set it right on the counter, and we need to get this out, we're going to get that out in just a minute. Okay, and you want to just hold it and let the fiber cool down. And we've got just a nice little wave. Okay, I just want like a nice little wave. I don't want anything that looks, you know, dated, if you will. I just want like a nice little wave. Ugh. Sorry about that, guys. And then I have a really curly style, and I'm going to show you how to take curl out of that. Okay, so this might be a little bit too much. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna create just a nice little wave here. For those of you that have just joined, we're looking at our high heat sassy. Again, I'm using a little bit of Revive or water just to kind of coat the hair. You want to protect it so that it doesn't, you know, you're not pulling the fiber. And this really does help the implement kind of glide off the, kind of just helps it glide. I always like to count to about 15. Let me show you really quickly if you haven't seen the products. And then I'm going to hold it. You know, someone mentioned that it's a little bit harder to work with high heat styles. Yes, it is. It's almost exactly opposite of our like if you were working with human hair. With human hair, you make the pattern, use the implement, drop the hair, and it's going to hold it. Not with heat, not with high heat. You have to almost do opposite. You have to kind of hold the curl until it cools off, and it will stay there. Isn't that nice though? I just want like a beachy wave. I don't want anything that looks like, you know, dated curl. So I'm not going to do the entire style, but I just wanted to show you because there's several styles that I want to show you. But this is our sassy style with just a beachy wave that I created. So if this is the implement you have, these work great. You know, and I know a lot of us still use these. Again, this is at 290, and this worked. So I didn't even get to 300. Okay, so just remember, you want to hold it. You don't want to just drop it, let the curl drop, because it's not going to stay in. You have to hold it and let fiber cool down, and then it'll stay there. Okay, on to the next style. Again, this is Sassy from the new line, from the new collection, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is Diva. This is really, really curly. This is really, really curly. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to straighten the curl out a little bit because I want to create an updo with this one but I don't want it. My hair was never this curly. My sister's is this curly, but mine is not this curly. So I want to take some of the curl out of it, so it'll be easier for me to create the look that I'm wanting. Again, we are working with all high heat today. Not all our styles are high heat. I know I'm going to say that probably 20 times, but it's important because I don't want you to get confused and think that these are all high heat, because they're not. If you just joined, always make sure that you look for high heat on the tag, and these are going to be from the Orchid Collection. And this is Diva in Blonde Ambition. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to flip it, because I want to see the dark hair first, and I'm going to work on this particular piece. I'm going to work at the nape because I want to make sure that if I have any kind of I know I'm not going to mess it up, but I want to start at the nape, because in school we were always taught to start back here. In the event that we did have a little faux pas, then it wouldn't be in the front. Does that make sense? So just a quick tip, and I'm licensed, but if I'm going to do something and I'm not really sure how the implement's going to work for me, I always start back here because I don't want to start up here. In the event that I do singe fiber, I definitely don't want it to be in the hairline where it will be harder to fix. Okay, so I know this please keep in mind, this is upside down. I flipped it for the sake of showing you what I'm going to do. Okay, so earlier I took my implement on 290 and I really softened up the hair. This looks more natural to me. So we're going to take it and we're going to soften some of it up. If you'll look at the difference here. See, I just relaxed the curl, and this looks more like what my sister's, both of my sister's hair curl pattern looks like. It's much softer and more realistic for what I want to do with it. So we're going to take this. This is a flat iron. I'm going to turn it on. Again, I don't leave them on because they're going to build heat. And I'm going to do this at about 290. Okay, so I'm gonna wait just a minute. Okay, we're warm already. Again, I'm gonna take you know what, I'm gonna do a little bit of water this time. I want to show you, this is really nice because I've had to do this with another one of my, okay, so I want you to see how curly this is, and I love curl, but for the style I want to create, I'm trying to create an updo that I need for an event, and I don't want it to necessarily be this curly. So again, I'm just taking my flat iron. And this is going to stay this way until you reverse the pattern. So even after you shampoo it, it's going to come back. It's going to stay in. See, look at the difference here. I think I want to do just a little bit more down here. And then I'm holding it as it cools down. Just remember, if you, this can get pretty hot. So if you want to wear gloves while you're doing this, you know, some of you have your gloves that you wear for your wands and so forth. I would highly suggest that because it is hot. If it's too hot, it will burn your skin. So please keep in mind, I'm just holding it and I'm letting it cool down, but you can see the difference in the curl pattern. So this is going to make it easier for me to create the hairstyle that, see, okay, so all my girls, my nieces, my sisters, this is exactly what their hair looks like in their natural hair. So this is really, really exciting to me. I love this because I love the style, and I definitely want something that I can change. Isn't that great? Look at that. Okay, so again, I didn't even go up to 300. This is at 290. Again, if you're just joining us, we are showing high heat and how you can change the pattern, how you can change the look. This is how this style comes. This is Diva from the Orchid line. And I love this. It's just that this doesn't look like our hair naturally, so I'm just trying to soften it a little bit. Okay, so if you wanted to go back to, especially like with this one, you're gonna have to go back and you're gonna have to use a really small barrel curling iron to put the curls back into it. Good question. Once you take the curl out of this, when you shampoo it, it's not gonna bounce back to this. It's gonna look like this. So this is the difference between high heat styling and like say for instance my what style would I have? Okay, so breezy waves, you're gonna shampoo it and it's gonna come right back to the same pattern. Any of them, Adeline, any of the synthetic styles, you shampoo them and they're gonna bounce back to the beautiful style that they were created to look like. This, you're gonna have to put the curl back into it. So before you take something this curly and straighten it, always, you know, you have to decide whether you're going to want to put that much work back into it, because it's not going to bounce back to its original curl pattern. Like you're not going to shampoo it and you're going to get that curl pattern right back. Okay, so again, this was Diva and I'm trying to soften the curl. This may be something that you never choose to do, but that's the reason that I chose to do that one. Okay, I am looking at another style that I have questions on is Spellbound. And you know, my sister was asking me, how can I soften the curl, I mean the bang a little bit? Like the bang is too close to my skin. So let me show you what that looks like. Again, these are all high heat. Okay, so I did a little bit. If you can see, I kind of just lifted the root here. Okay, keep in mind, this is probably not the color that I would, this is not the best color for my skin tone, but I did want to show you. So my sister wanted me to, first of all, show you how this you can definitely do in a cute ponytail. But we wanted to soften up the bang a little bit, so let me show you. You know, I'm going to put it up somehow. However, I just wanted to show you the bang because the bang is really important. Okay, I'm just using the little clip back here. And then I always take this hair and kind of, let me work on the bang here because I know I only have a few minutes. Okay, so in the bang here, sometimes when you get high heat styles, they're laying a little bit, sorry guys, I dropped my hair product. Okay, so sometimes you get them and they're laying a little bit too close to the base here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take, I'm going to use my flat iron for this, and I'm just going to run across the base here, and then I'm going to hold it. I'm holding it up like this so that it doesn't lay as you can see, it looks more natural here because it's not totally flat. Like sometimes you get the style and it's just too close because of shipping, you know, it's too close to the base and it looks like it's super flat and close to your head. So I'm just taking that and I'm lifting it and I'm gonna hold it till it cools down. And you know what, I want to do a little bit more here. So I'm gonna pin this back for a minute. I'll redo that. I should have done this first, but I'm gonna do the bottom here. Please be careful, because if you're not used to doing this with an implement, you do have to be very, very careful, because the fiber does become hot. And if it falls on your skin and you're not prepared, it can burn you. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just running the iron like this. I'm gonna leave it there for it to cool down a little bit. And if you'll see, it's no longer stuck to my skin. It has a little bend to it. You can always use a product if you want, like you could put hairspray in it now. I don't really like I don't like using a lot of holding spray, so I'm gonna just leave it, but if you'll see, it's not flat to my skin anymore. The trick is you have to hold it till it cools down. If you can see, these bangs are no longer, let me see if I can. You can see it's not stuck to my skin anymore. Okay, if you wanted to, you could put a little bit of product. We could do a little bit more right here. I have just a few more minutes. Okay, so again, I'm just taking this and I'm running it across like this. I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna let it cool down so that it's not so cute. Yes, I know what you're saying. I love the style, but no, this is not my color. This is just to show you how to lift the bang a little bit. Okay, so one more and then I will have to say goodbye today. Sorry about that, time flies. So I want to make sure that I want to show you how to reverse the curl. Like if you have a curl and you want to take it out. And I'm gonna do this with Posh. I know a lot of us love Posh. Again, we are working with high heat today. This is Silver Mist. Okay, so this is the way Posh comes in this color. And this is what I did with the same implement that I showed you earlier. We just put a curl into it at 290. I didn't even do 300. And if you like, you can always put clips. Once you drop the curl, you can clip it and let it dry. Cool down. I'm sorry, let it cool down, and you'll have more of a nice, more defined curl pattern. But like on the other style, I really didn't want a curl. I just want like a wave. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a curl down. Okay, we have a little piece here, and I want to take the curl out. So let's look at that real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. If you'll see, we've got a wave here, and I want it smooth now. Okay, so it's Friday and the smooth, well, I don't know, it could be Wednesday, and I just need the smooth. I need to smooth it out. So we're gonna take a little bit of water. And again, I am using my flat iron. This is a professional iron. Please keep in mind, I don't like using anything that's high, medium, or low, because I can't see the control. Like, I don't feel like I can control the temperature. Okay, I'm gonna take this and I'm pulling all the way down here. And this is hot, so you can drop this down. Do not grab the fiber with your hands, your fingers. Do not do that, because it will burn your fingers. It's hot. When you drag the iron down, and we're going straight down like this, it's hot. You can feel the heat, you know. So if you're more comfortable, do this on a mannequin. But we've taken the bend out. So even if I wanted to straighten this, I'm able to do that. Please keep in mind. I hope you enjoyed this. Please keep in mind, I just want to remind you, if an implement is too hot, it will singe the fiber. Even if it's high heat, it's going to singe the fiber. So this is with curling with our technique today. Really, really simple and fun, just like a little bend, a little beach wave without. Then we took it out. So please remember, the only way you're going to take it out is you're going to have to reverse what you did. These are nice. Again, Sassy is going to be one of my favorites. Because, let's put that back on. I just want to show you Sassy. See, I just love this. It has a little bit of bend here. We did a little bit of wave pattern on this side, not so much this side. I love the style. And the other little trick is I wore this weekend, and I did like the curtain bang, because you know this is more like in my age group, and I love that too. So I can definitely see this with the middle part, and I think it looks really nice and, you know, fashion forward right now. I like it this way too. I will see you. Thank you for joining me today.